Dr. Tori Murden McClure has been defining courage all her life. She is uniquely qualified to talk to our soon-to-be graduates and everyone in this audience about the challenge and the thrill of daring mighty things. I was very fortunate to come to know Dr. McClure earlier this year in her capacity as president of Spalding University, where she has served since 2010. I was inspired by her. Indeed, I stand in respectful awe and am infected by her gracious and humble humanity. Tori earned her bachelor's degree from Smith College, her Master of Divinity from Harvard, and her Juris Doctor from the University of Louisville Law School, passing the Kentucky Bar in 1995. She also earned her Master of Fine Arts in Writing at Spalding University in preparation for writing her memoir, A Pearl in the Storm, How I Found My Heart in the Middle of the Ocean. Her career has spanned a wide range, from chaplain at Boston City Hospital to executive director of a homeless shelter for women, to public policy analyst for the mayor of Louisville, and work with Muhammad Ali on his early plans for the Muhammad Ali Center in Louisville, which strives to inspire young adults to pursue greatness. Although she is a self-described introvert, Tori is a sought-after speaker around the globe and has appeared on the Today Show, the Oprah Winfrey Show, the Discovery Channel, and CNN, among many others. In an interview posted this week on the MBU Facebook page, Tori said, "It's now more about what I can help other people do than what I can personally accomplish." Please join me in welcoming one of the most courageous women I've met, Tori McClure.
So I've left some props in the other podium. There's going to be a little juggle in a minute, but I want to get started on my remarks first. To the 175th class of Mary Baldwin, the class of 2017, it is my honor to formally welcome you into the stupendous sisterhood and blossoming brotherhood of Mary Baldwin alumni. Your academic rank brings you distinction in the community of educated men and women. To the blossoming brotherhood of Mary Baldwin University, I love you, but I'm not afraid of you. To the stupendous sisterhood, the alumni of Mary Baldwin College, I love you and I am afraid of you. As you know, the word alumni refers to female graduates of an institution. The word alumni once referred to male graduates, but the term has become gender neutral. I should encourage the alumni of Mary Baldwin College to embrace change and write their checks to Mary Baldwin University. After all, new signage is expensive. However, as a graduate of Smith College, I have been trained to recognize the species of highly educated, well-seasoned women that I call tough old birds. Tough old birds are occasionally resistant to change. As a member of this species, I should have the courage to tell the tough old birds in this audience to get over your bad selves. But I'm afraid of tough old birds. Therefore, for the next few minutes, I shall refer to Mary Baldwin as Mary Baldwin. To the 175th class of Mary Baldwin, the class of 2017, give yourselves a big whoop whoop and holler. Not bad for fledglings. There are many lies traditionally told on commencement day. I didn't know President Fox was actually going to use this one. One such lie is, this is your day. This is not your day. The evening may belong to you, but the day belonged to those who raised you, those who have supported you. This day marks not an end to your suffering, it marks an end to their suffering. This is a day that some in this audience thought they might never see. Those who helped you through the corridors of Mary Baldwin will cheer. It is not that they don't love you, they do, but they need no longer worry about whether you will pass your last exam. No more listening to you whine about the heftiness of your many and varied assignments. No more pretending to be interested in your esoteric wanderings along the existential plane of the academic syllabi. This day belongs not just to you, but to all those who helped you to reach this milestone. Their gentle smiles hide deeper emotions. For some, the sense of relief must border on hysteria. This hysteria may exhibit itself in the flash of cameras and in bragging about your accomplishments in unnaturally loud voices. If it's really over the top, hit record. There are many who prepared you for the journey, some who coached you along the way, and any number of people who are out there praying for you. Share the joy of this day with them. It is their day as much as it is yours. If in the next few minutes I manage to bore you, I ask that you use the time to imagine someone who helped you to reach this milestone who could not be with you here today. Give thanks for them. As you depart Mary Baldwin, I hope you will carry with you the lessons of your faculty. If you follow their examples, you will not take jobs you do not enjoy, to buy things you do not need, to impress people you do not like. This is a form of insanity. Your faculty measures success on a different scale. They measure success by what they give to life and not what they take from life. In the end, you must make a living. Your parents and families are counting on this, but be sure to make a life as well as a living. It has been said that your friends are the family that you get to choose. What you have in life is not nearly as important as who you have in your life. Class of 2017, this tough old bird has some advice for you in this category. When choosing friends, avoid individuals who are know-it-alls. I'm here to tell you that such people are tedious. Do not marry or become entangled with such people. Do not even bother to have lunch with such people. Instead, spend your lives with learn-it-alls. People who are always learning are ever-changing, often refreshing and sometimes surprising. To the graduates, I have no doubt that each of you has one thing that you do better than anyone else in your world. And that's awesome, that's swell, that's dope, that's toy, that's whatever you want it to be. Nonetheless, I am confident that your faculty, the fine faculty of this institution, required you to learn and do more than one thing. Why did they do this to you? Because people who only do one thing are tedious. Do not marry or become entangled with such people. Do not even bother to have lunch with such people. While it is entirely acceptable to have one overarching philosophy of life as educated women and men seeking to make your mark in this world, you should care about and be willing to discuss a minimum of 3 things. The 3 things about which you care tomorrow may not match the 3 things about which you care today. Fear not. Heed the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson, who wrote, quote, "Speak what you think today in hard words, and tomorrow speak what tomorrow thinks in hard words again, though it contradict everything you said today." He also wrote, "A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds, adored by little statesmen, philosophers, and divines." The 3 things I care about today are promoting compassion, fighting for justice, and encouraging fun. I will end my remarks today with fun. Don't underestimate the power of fun. Researchers who study resilience often cite the importance of having a sense of humor. And seriously, I am here to tell you that people who have no sense of humor are tedious. Do not marry or become entangled with such people. Do not even bother to have lunch with such people. And it has been my observation that people who lack a sense of humor are seldom very smart. On the subject of smart people, I have 2 audience participation questions, only 2. I will not abuse the privilege. The faculty should not answer, I repeat, should not answer the first question. The faculty, if you've missed them, are the colorfully clad posse seated in the wings. It would be fair for you to assume that our parents failed to teach us how to dress ourselves. Question number 1, if you are super smart, but your social skills are a little sketchy, raise your hand. Now you understand why I asked the faculty not to vote. Everyone may answer the second question. Members of the faculty are particularly encouraged to answer this question in relation to one another. Question number 2, if you know someone in the audience who is super smart, but who has sketchy social skills, raise your hand. For those who are super smart but lack social skills, I ask you to remember the words of Hilaire Belloc. He wrote, "Nothing is worth the wear of winning but laughter and the love of friends." If you remember nothing else, remember, nothing is worth the wear of winning but laughter and the love of friends. As you march boldly through life, on occasion you will stumble and you will fall. Don't worry about it. There is no failure in falling. Failure only lies in not getting up. I don't know any perfect people, and few people in life are more annoying than those who think they are perfect. I am here to tell you that such people are tedious. Do not marry or become entangled with such people. Do not even bother to have lunch with such people. Now, I have often bragged that the best thing about my faults is the joy that they bring to others. And with this, I must go and get the props. Before I took a rowboat alone across the Atlantic Ocean, I skied 750 miles across Antarctica to the geographical South Pole. Now, you don't go anywhere in Antarctica without your glacier glasses on, so I need them for the story. There were 7 days when we traveled in whiteout conditions. The whiteouts happen when the clouds come down on the surface of the snow. Up is white, down is white, right is white, left is white. You really can't see the ground in front of you. One day, I was leading in the whiteout, and I lifted my ski to ski over what I thought was a hill, and I fell into a hole because the light was so flat I couldn't tell the difference between up or down. How you navigate in a whiteout is you take your compass. It's a standard mountaineering compass. It has a sighting mirror, and it's also called an idiot's compass because the mirror shows you who is lost. How you navigate in a whiteout is you send the youngest, I was young then, just a fledgling, not a tough old bird, out off into the mist. And when you're out off in the mist, you can't see a thing. So you take your compass and you look for any landmark, due south. And I was really excited. I had this perfect piece of sastrugi, a bump in the snow, 180 degrees due south. I skied right for it, skied right for it, skied right for it. Colonel Ron Milnarek was my second that day. It was his job to correct any deviation in my course. He said, "Tori, you're veering right." No, I was young and perfect. I checked my compass. No, my landmark was due south. Skied right for it, skied right for it, skied right for it. "Tori, you're veering right." No, I was a graduate of the National Outdoor Leadership School. I knew how to use a compass by Harry God. I checked again. Due south, skied right for it, skied right for it, skied right for it. "Tori, you're veering right." That's it, gonna have to kill him. He's a dead man. I turned to give Colonel Ron Milnarek of the United States Air Force my very best Murden death stare. And when I did that, I realized my landmark off in the mist was a spot of frost on my glasses. Václav Havel wrote, "Keep the company and seek the company of those who are searching after truth and run away from people who think they have found it." I was going to talk a little bit about navigation, but I think I'm going to move quickly. Good navigation requires at least 3 points of reference. The farther apart the points of reference are from one another, the better your navigation or your leadership will be. If I ask 3 people on the right which way to go, I may steer in that direction. If I have to ask 3 people on the left which way to go, I may go left. If I ask people in front or behind, the same might happen. If you wish to make wise decisions, you must seek advice from people who have different points of view. One from here, one from here, one from there. Don't get crazy with it. Don't want to have paralysis by analysis. You just need 3. And when you've decided on a direction, it's really important to have competent people standing behind you to help correct any deviations in your course. It is up to us, it is up to you, as educated people, to close the gap between the promise of humanity and the performance of human beings. The world cries out for educated voices. Education helps to traverse the distance between possibility and fact. So I must digress. I was going to talk about compassion as my theme, but I asked some seniors what I should talk about, and they said, "Oh, please talk about rowboats." I'm going to give you the short version. I promise. It took me 2 tries to row a boat alone across the Atlantic Ocean. That's rowboat. No engine, no sails, just oars. I was alone. There were no chase vessels. There were no film crews. Honest, I was alone. So it took me 2 tries to row alone across the Atlantic Ocean. On my first journey, I lost communications 8 days from the start, and I went for 78 days with no contact with anyone on land. In June, I was hit by some bad storms. In July, I was hit by bad storms. In August, I was hit by the remnants of a hurricane. And in September, after I'd rowed 3,000 miles, I was hit by a hurricane named Danielle. The morning Hurricane Danielle arrived, my boat capsized 5 or 6 times. There may be accounting majors in the audience. They're obsessing. We're the math majors. Was it 5 or was it 6? When you're inside this cabin bouncing around like a ping pong ball, you just see the ceiling going by. You don't really get to count how many times it went by. So after the 5th or 6th episode, I decided to get out of my watertight cabin, tie into my safety tether, crawl across the deck to get the emergency position indicating radio beacon. When you turn it on, it says, "Help!" When you don't turn it on, it doesn't say anything. In the time it took me to get out there, waves were washing over the boat. It was doing this really annoying submarine thing. When your ears pop because the boat has gone so far under the surface of the water, it is a bad sign. And I realized I could not ask another human being to come out into that storm to get me. I tied the distress beacon to my life vest, crawled back across the deck, crawled back into the cabin, and I went through 5 or 6 more capsizes that day with the distress beacon in one hand, not setting it off in the other. 2 of my pitch poles were end over end. 2 of my capsizes were end over end pitch poles. Really hurts when the boat flips over that way. One capsize dislocated my shoulder. The next capsize put it back into place. This is my definition of a bad day. And if you combine this with the fact that I skied to the South Pole, you will understand why, as president of Spalding University, I do not decide whether our students get a snow day. I make our provost decide whether the students get a snow day. The storm passed. The next day, I spent the day bailing the water out of my boat, got it floating again. That night, a hurricane named Earl passed well north of my position. It triggered a number of rogue waves. The boat capsized 4 more times. I looked out. I thought, the waves aren't nearly as tall. The winds aren't nearly as strong. It's safe enough to ask for help. I triggered my distress beacon. That afternoon, I was picked up by a container ship named the Independent Spirit. You can't make that stuff up. They took me to Philadelphia. I returned to Louisville, Kentucky, the home of all great ocean rowers. I worked for the mayor of Louisville, who had to leave office because of a term limit, and I was asked if I wanted to take a job working for the boxer and humanitarian Muhammad Ali. I may be smart, I may lack social skills, but I said yes. It was Muhammad who eventually convinced me to return to the Atlantic Ocean. He said, "Tori, you don't want to go through life as the woman who almost rowed across the ocean." So I went back. I succeeded in rowing the Atlantic, and the moment I stepped out of the rowboat, I literally stepped into the arms of a man named Mac McClure. I am here to tell you, Mac is never tedious. I married him. My life is entangled with him, and I relish having lunch with him. Hilaire Belloc was right. Nothing is worth the wear of winning but laughter and the love of friends. I commend you for reaching this milestone in life. I commend you for your achievements and for the achievements you are yet to make. Mary Baldwin has prepared you well. As scholars, you are creative individuals. You possess a clarity of mind and an energy of will. I have no doubt that you shall meet the challenge of the coming years. You have warmed yourselves by the fires of those who raised you. Here at Mary Baldwin, you have gathered the tinder of knowledge. The time has come out for you to set and light your own fires. I don't mean that literally. As I wind this up, I want to end with the top 10 things I think I know. Socrates said, "All I know is that I know nothing." I will freely admit I don't know anything for sure, but I will end with the top 10 things I think I know. Number 1, if a carrot is big enough, you can use it as a stick. Number 2, roadblocks only block the road. They do not block the grass, the path, the water, or the way less traveled. Roadblocks only block the road. Number 3, silence is golden. And if silence should fail you, duct tape is silver. Number 4, it is never too late to have a happy childhood. I've had several, and I have many more planned. Or the corollary, I may grow old, but I will never grow old enough to know better. Number 5, do not treat others in a way that makes them feel small. If making others feel small becomes a habit, it will make you smaller. Number 6, learn from the mistakes of others. You cannot live long enough to make them all yourselves. Or the corollary, it is difficult to become old and wise. It is difficult to become a tough old bird if you are not first young and stupid. There are gradations of stupid, however. Stupid level 1 gets you hurt. Stupid level 2 gets other people hurt. Stupid level 3 involves police and lawyers, and you may never own your own home. I counsel you, as a lawyer, to avoid all gradations of stupid that begin with the phrase, "Hey, hold my beer, watch this." Number 7, a ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. Number 8, if you have to keep something that you are doing a secret, then perhaps you should not be doing it. Number 9, it is important, this one's important for university presidents. Don't take yourself too seriously. No one else does. Number 10, do not believe everything you think. Or as Socrates said, all I know is that I know nothing. I have tremendous confidence that when you leave Mary Baldwin, you will go out. You will teach, heal, feed, and build. You will inform, advocate, comfort, and guide. You will criticize, organize, contribute, and in 100 other ways, you will serve people and causes. When this commencement service ends, let your service to the world begin anew. I know you will go out and make Mary Baldwin proud. You will make your friends and families proud. And for this, I thank you.
Tori, thank you so very much for that inspirational message. And I have the boat underneath me here, so.